Hey, it's Kevin. Thank you so much for stopping by. It's another No BS social media chat. Again, I've been actively involved in social media now for over a decade, just as a participant, now as someone who, well, I guess, makes a living off of social media, advising people and being kind of a spiritual guide for a lot of people. And it amazes me because I have a lot of people around me who've been involved in social media just as long as I have. But you read in the news, you see a celebrity, you see a brand, a business do something silly, and they're kind of taken aback by the fact that, well, a tweet or a Facebook post or something they did online had some repercussions, had some blowback. And I laughed. Like, when did you not think you were being judged? Right now, I think we're at the most judgmental, okay, maybe not the most, I would say, okay, back in the medieval times, they were maybe a little bit more judgmental, or maybe during the Salem witch trials, they're a little bit more judgmental. But we're at one of the most judgmental times, I think, in our world order. And I think technology has changed a lot of that because we now are more informed. Everywhere across the world, we know more about what's going on across the world, and even in our own world, than we've ever known before. And because of the economy and because of the lack of middle class, we're all just, well, being judgmental. We're all very judgmental about politics. Nobody's ever satisfied. They vote one way, they vote another way. Nobody else is pleased, whatever. But I'm just amazed when people are shocked they're being judged. I remember going back to now a decade ago when I was still in radio, and we started using social media profiles to kind of size up job applicants. We were always interviewing recent college graduates or people still in college for internships and things like that. So we would be looking at their MySpace page, and we actually had, even though we couldn't have Facebook profiles ourselves at the time because it was still limited to college students, we actually had a way to get into Facebook profiles and look at their Facebook profiles. So we were, I don't want to say stalking them, but we were sizing them up going back now a decade ago. So do you not think for a minute that you're being judged? It's funny, 9 times out of 10, if I encounter somebody online, especially somebody in the music business and the social media business, the first thing I do is go online, do a Google search, try to find them on Twitter, try to find them on Facebook, see if they're on Instagram, check them out on YouTube, go across all the social channels I can, and yes, I admit it, I judge them. I admit. It's amazing to me, there are people who claim to be forward-thinking marketing people. There are people who are having discussions, who are speaking in public, and are talking about the future and talking about technology. Yet when you go look at their social media following, they don't have one, or they're all limited to private. And more importantly than that, and I talked about this before, when it comes down to personal branding, they don't even have their own website. Now, I realize this technology has been moving rapidly here in the last few years. But again, we were building websites back in the late 90s. Now, I know it's easier, and there are tools now that anybody can build a website. We had to teach ourselves how to build websites with the tools, and they were pretty rudimentary things, and now they're pretty fancy thanks to the tools we have. But when people are out there not thinking they're being paid attention to, not thinking that people are checking them out, I realize that when I'm encountered by almost anybody, they're going to have done a Google search on me. They're going to look me up. And 9 times out of 10, I make sure we reference it in the conversation. Well, did you happen to check this? Did you see this? Or they'll ask me specific things that I can tell because I've got multiple profiles, because I have multiple Instagram accounts. I realize they're paying attention. And I'm okay with that. I actually do a lot of my social media thinking, well, somebody's going to be judging me on this. They're going to be making a value-based judgment about who I am as a person, what I'm all about. And I want to make sure I put the best foot forward. We always talk about talking about the positive, making sure you stay away from the politics, the sex, religion. We talked about that in a video a while back. But it just constantly, again, amazes me that there are people out there who don't think they're being judged. Every tweet, every Facebook post, every picture you put up on Instagram, it's going to be judged by somebody. It's going to be judged by one of your fans, your followers, or friends. It's amazing. I mean, and it's not right, it's not wrong. It's who we are. We're inquisitive human beings, and now that we have the ability to use these tools, and more importantly, I think now with the tools we have, everybody just wants to feel good about themselves. So naturally, they're going to judge you versus judging them, because hopefully they're going to make themselves feel better. Always put the best foot forward. Always know that every little thing, and I do mean every little thing you do online, is going to be judged by at least one person, or even by yourself. Think about that. So you need to be careful. You need to be cautious. Hey, you know what? If you want to take risks, go ahead and take risks, but realize there are repercussions. There are some major celebrities out there who, it just shocks me, who don't realize that they're being judged and then are all upset when they have been judged. Comes with the territory. You want your 15 minutes of fame? You've got the tools now to get that 15 minutes of fame. You better be prepared for the backlash. Yes, there are negative people out there. Don't pay attention to the negative necessarily. Pay attention to the people, though, who are being constructive. Pay attention to the people who may have hit on the truth. Those are the ones you got to worry about. Next week, another No BS Social Media Chat. NoBSSocial.com, YouTube, No BS Social, the channel there. Of course, you can find us on Facebook as well, too, on our Intensity Media Facebook page, on my Kevin Mason, the Kevin Mason page, I think is what we put it on, too. Again, just type in No BS Social Media videos, and you'll find us anywhere online. We'll see you next week. You want to get a hold of me? All my info coming up now. Thanks.